Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi ta'ala wa barakatuh, and welcome again to this new episode on EnglishTube. Today we're going to deal with a very interesting grammar lesson again, which is adjectives. Adjectives, as you know, are words that we use to describe things or people in terms of either shape or size or color or just an opinion, right? So today we're going to distinguish between two basic adjectives. Then we're going to see and discover how to form three basic forms of any adjective, which is the comparative form, the superlative form, and then the equative form. How to express equality. If we want to express inequality between two things or two people on the basis of a particular description, how can we do that, right? So that's what we are going to do and discover today. So let us get started right now and discover the two basic types of adjectives. We've got adjectives here, can be classified into two basic categories. Let's write adjectives this way, and we got, so the type number one, the first type is called regular adjectives. Regular adjectives, it means adjectives that respect the rule, a particular rule, in order to form the comparative, superlative, or the equatives. And we got number two, the second type of adjectives is what we call irregular. It's the opposite. It's irregular adjectives. Right? Good. Now, you should know first of all, our aim is to know how to form, to compare, first of all, how to form the comparative form, how to compare between two things or two people, and how to express superlative. That's one thing among many things, is the most, maybe the most expensive, maybe the most beautiful. It's higher, it's the highest one in degree on the basis of a particular description, particular adjective in a way. And again, how to express equality, how to say that two things or two people are equal as far as a certain adjective or a certain description is concerned. It may be size, it may be shape, it may be just an opinion or whatsoever. So we have to bear in mind that adjectives here can be, can take three basic forms. We got the comparative, let's put it here. We got the comparative form, and we have the superlative form, and the last one is the equatives or equality. Let's put it this way, right? Let's call it equatives. So we got superlatives, comparatives first, superlatives, and then equatives. How to form each form here. So let's get started with the first type of adjectives, which is irregular adjectives. Anyway, let's make it here irregular, right? Adjectives. Irregular adjectives, as you know, or as you may have studied, let's see, in the course, in class, can be divided into two basic categories again. We've got what we call, let's say, the short adjectives. In terms of length, we can distinguish between two types of adjectives. We got short adjectives. Adjectives that consist of one syllable. What is a syllable? A syllable is a unit of sound consisting of one vowel with or without surrounding consonants. If we take the example of the adjective big The adjective big is just one syllable adjective. It consists of one syllable. Big is just one syllable. It is surrounded by one, let's say, consonant on the left and one on the right. And because it ends, because this syllable ends, let's say, in a consonant, we call it, or we name it, a closed syllable. If it ends, if the syllable ends in a vowel, then it is an open, let's say, syllable. For instance, we say dry. Dry, again, is an adjective. It's a short adjective. It consists of one syllable. So it is an open syllable. Anyway, this is what it means, what, let's say, a short adjective mean. It is an adjective that consists just of one syllable, right? Good. So let's make it this way. So we got here the first type of regular adjectives are short adjectives, right? One syllable adjective, right? And the second type is called, right, long adjective, right? Long adjective. Let's put it in the abbreviated form this way. All right, very good. A long adjective, so, is any adjective that consists of two or more syllables. It may be two. There might be two syllables or three syllables or more, right? That's what it means. Long adjectives. Example, we may say expensive, beautiful, interesting, enjoyable, amusing, entertaining. These are examples of long adjectives. Example, we got expensive. Expensive, we've got X, this is the first syllable. Pen, this is the second syllable. And then sieve, this is the third syllable. So this is a three syllable adjective. Great. So let's go back to the short adjectives. Short adjectives right now, the objective of this lesson, as I told you before, is how to form the comparative, how to form the superlative, and how to form the equative, equality in between two things or two people on the basis of a particular, let's say, description. For short adjectives, we form the comparative simply by adding ER at the end of the adjective. We take the adjective, then we add the two letters ER. Plus, of course, the word then to show comparison, right? We say, example, big. This house is bigger than this one, right? This person is fatter. It means obese, is fatter than this person. These are short adjectives, and this is the comparative form. Sometimes an adjective sometimes an adjective may end in E, right? You may have an adjective in the positive form. This form is called positive. May end in E. That E is part of the root of the adjective. Example, the adjective nice. Nice ends in E. So to form the comparative, we don't add ER, we just add R. We simply add R. Plus, of course, the same thing here, then, right? Now, for the superlative form, short adjective, right? We add, first of all, the, right? This definite adjective, article is very important to precede, let's say, the adjective. And then the adjective plus est at the end. This is for this first case, okay? We say big in the positive form, bigger, er at the end, and then the biggest. Well, we add est at the end. Great. And for adjective which ends in E, we simply add st, right? For the equative, it's the same. To form the equative, we have to put the adjective between as and as. as plus adjective plus as. We say this house is as big as my house, right? Good. Let's move on to the long adjective. A long adjective, we say it's an adjective that consists of two or more syllables. For the comparative form, we must have more or less. Why not, right? So may have more or less. Plus the adjective, right? As it is, plus adjective, right? We say more expensive, more beautiful, more interesting, and so on, right? Now, for the superlative form, we write the most. It's the superlative form of the adjective more, the most, and then adjective plus a long adjective, right? The most beautiful, the most interesting. For less, again, we may see here the least, okay? The least interesting, right? And so on. Plus adjective. For the equatives, to form the equality between two things again, or two people, it's the same. Let's say, put the adjective between as and as. We say this book is, or books are as interesting as CDs, right? Or video games are as interesting as sports games. I mean, that we practice in our real life. Great. So this is, let's say, the general rule right now. The summary for the for forming, let's say, the comparative, the superlative, or the equative form. For short adjective and for long adjective. Well, the second type of adjectives is called irregular adjectives. I mean, they have no rule. If we want to form the comparative for the superlative or the equative, there is no rule that we can apply. The only thing, the only solution is to practice and practice and practice. Extensive reading can help accumulate our knowledge of the comparative and superlative and the equative form, let's say, of the irregular adjectives. Let's have a look at the two examples that we have here. We've got the first irregular adjective that we can suggest here is good. It's very known, let's say, adjective. Good, of course, this is the positive form. We say good, right? And for the comparative form, okay, so it's better to put here the adjective over here, right? So we got here good. Remember that this is number two, irregular adjectives, okay? So good, this is the positive form, let's say, of the adjective. In the comparative form, we say better than, or in American English we say better than, great. And superlative form we say the best. This is the best book I have ever read, right? This is the best experience I have ever gone through, and so on. And for the equative form, we say it's the same like the previous situations, as good as, right? As plus adjective plus as again. Another adjective is, for instance, bad. It's the opposite of good, right? For the comparative form, we say worse than, right? This accident is worse than this one, right? And the superlative form, we say the worst. This is the worst day in my life. This is the worst experience I have ever endured. This is the worst sickness I have ever gone through, or endured, or whatsoever, or been infected by, and so on. And the equatives, we say as bad again. We say as bad, as plus adjective plus as bad as. 2 out of 10 as a mark is as bad as 2.5 out of 10. They are all the same. They are bad. Great. So these are just 2 examples, okay? And we are gonna we say that they are irregular adjectives because there is no way to compare. I mean, between the letters that we got here, for instance, in the comparative form or in the superlative, and the positive form, right? Good, better. There is no relationship here. That's why they are called irregular. I mean, you just have to learn them. There is no particular rule that we can, recipe on which we can rely to form the comparative, superlative, equative. Just extensive reading. Read a lot and practice a lot, and you'll discover all the forms of irregular adjectives. Great. Let's move right now and have a look at a list of different adjectives, short adjectives, the comparative form, superlative, and then the equatives. Long adjectives, I mean more than 2-syllable adjectives. Let's have a look at different examples, and then again some examples for, let's say, irregular adjectives. I hope you understood the lesson so deeply, right? And you're familiar right now with all the concepts and different terms that we have dealt with today. The long adjective, the short adjective, regular, irregular, and then the comparative, superlative, and equatives. And see you, inshallah, on a new occasion on EnglishTube. Thank you very much for watching.